afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope it's a good one, especially today, because it is Mother's Day here in the United States. Yes, the second Sunday of May gets designated as Mother's Day. It's kind of an interesting idea because back in the old days, they used to charge you for telephone calls. I know today you could just get on any kind of network and you could talk for free across the globe. But in the old days, there was such thing as a long distance call. And AT&T, which was the main provider of telephones, they had a statistic, and this is very interesting. The largest number of calls, not on Valentine's Day, but on Mother's Day. That was the largest number of calls that would take place on Mother's Day because people would call and say, Happy Mother's Day. This is true, the largest number of collect calls. Collect calls means you reverse the charges on the person to whom you're calling. The largest number, Father's Day. True story. True story. Now you analyze that any way you want. But of course, today, motherhood is really what we celebrate because as we know, mothers are beautiful people who give of themselves, the mothering. That's what we really celebrate because of life's conditions, there are many fathers who do mothering, just like there's many mothers who do fathering. What we celebrate today is that parenting, that motherhood. And we congratulate all of the mothers in our midst. We say Happy Mother's Day here in America. And I hope wherever you are that this is a very special day because even if you're not a mother, we've all had mothers. Every one of us have had mothers. So we have an idea, good or bad. And sometimes if they're bad, at least you have something that you can test against, right? So you know what motherhood is all about. So it's a day for us to pause, to reflect on motherhood. And today I'm going to talk because you know what? If I were to talk about motherhood, you really can't go wrong. Motherhood and apple pie, these are things that, they're always in season, right? You could do it and you can't do wrong. I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to talk about motherhood as we see through our holy church. This might ruffle a few feathers, but I have to say it, that we are blessed with a true mother. If you are born again from the font of baptism, which Jesus says you must be born again, born anew, born from above. He says this to Nicodemus. And in the church, in the apostolic tradition, we understand that the font of baptism, where the child is born again, that font is the womb of the church. And so each of us that have been born again from the church, in the church, baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, is born again, born from above. And Jesus says, the wind blows where it wills, but you do not know where it comes from, nor where it goes. So it is with everyone who is born of the Spirit. In other words, there is a mystery here, but we are born again. We're born as a second birth. And Nicodemus, actually, one of the rulers of the time, goes and asks Jesus, is it possible to enter a second time into your mother's womb and be born? And so the church has really translated that the font of baptism is that womb. This is where we are born again. And so if we are born from the womb of the church, then like it or not, the church is our mother. And we believe this. This is why we refer to everything that is sacred in our lives as mother. We call it the mother church, the mother language, Mair Lezu, Mair Yegeretzi. Whatever is sacred to us, we refer to with that adjective of mother. And so it is with the church. My dear friend Harach Chilingirian, he's a professor over at Oxford. He used to be the dean at St. Nerses Seminary. A few years back, wrote a beautiful piece called Mairik, which means mother. And I'd like to share that with you. Let me get it up on the screen. He writes like this. Mairik in Armenian, mom or grandma, is one of the sweetest words in the Armenian language. For a moment, picture your grandma Look at her face, and you see the story of life. Look at her face closely, and you see wrinkles, furrows, sculpted by tears and struggles. Furrows where seeds of smile and blessings have grown. Furrows where, through the blessing of faith in God, miracles have happened in our lives. For a moment, picture your grandma. Our grandma, our Mighty, was born 100 years ago in America to a humble immigrant family who had seen suffering, genocide, blood, and destruction. Yet, in her determination to pass her faith to the children of her nation, she stood strong and gave life, spiritual strength to us all. Despite her age, she is always young and living, but only through us and for our children's sake. She prepares banquets and fellowship every Sunday, but today so few of her children come home to see her. So few come and pray with her for all the good things that God has blessed us with. Her children have grown. Some have forgotten her faith and the values she passed on, and many have disowned her. Yet many have never forgotten her and love her dearly. This lovely Mighty is praying unceasingly for you, waiting for us, keeping the lamp light of our faith shining for us. She needs our hand and humility. She needs our love and sobriety. She is our church, our mother church, our Mighty. She is the bride of Christ, and it is up to us to participate in the wedding celebration. Don't wait for a committee. Don't wait for another meeting. Don't wait to discuss her problems next month or next year. She needs you now. She is home waiting for you. She wants to pray with you, for her and together for all of us, for all her children. She wants to work with you to continue her uninterrupted service and love to you and to all. You make her live. Without you, she will die. Don't count on others. Don't regulate your role to doctors and professionals to heal her wounds. It is only you who could make her healthy and full of life again. It is only your kiss of love and peace that soothe her wounds. Come home to Mighty, and see her sweet face. This was by Dr. Harac Chilingirian when he was the dean of St. Nerses Seminary in the 1990s. He wrote this and brings it home very clearly. We have a beautiful mother that's the mother to all of us. It's the mother that gave us life here in this country, gave us life in the diaspora after the genocide. I know I've said this before, but William Saroyan says, see if two Armenians will not get together and create a new Armenia. That's beautiful, but there's a place where those two Armenians have met, and it's always been the church. It's under the holy, sacred dome of the Armenian church. So I leave you with that thought about our Mighty. And I want to share with you one final poem. It's a poem that I love. It's from a writer that I just can't get enough of, Avetik Issahakyan. And I'm going to read it to you in Armenian. And it's for those of you who want a little bit of extra, okay? Because this is Sum of Sunday, and I'll just give you a little bit of extra. This is called Mor Sirde, and I love reading this, especially on Mother's Day, because it talks about a mother's love for her child in many ways. It's our mother church, that talks this to us. Mor Sirde, Հայկական Ավանթավեբ, Avetik Issahakyan. Գահինա վուրց մի զրույց, թե մի դղա մի ամորիկ սիրում էր մի աղջկա։ Աղջիկն ասավ, ինձ բնավ դու չես սիրում, թե չէ գնա մորդ սիրտը բեր։ Դղան մլոր, գլխի գոր, քայլ արավ, լացեց, աղջկա մոտ ետ տարավ։ Երբ նա դեսավ զայրացավ, էլ չերևիս, շեմքիս ասավ, մինչև սիրտը չփերես։ Դղան գնաց եւ որսաց սարի այծյամ, սիրտը հանեց, Perets tվեց աղջկան, երբ նա տեսավ զայրացավ, գորիր աչքիս, թե հարազատ մորդ սիրտը չփերես, տղան գնաց, մորը սպանեց, երբ վազ գդար սիրտը ցերքին, ոտքը սահեց ընկավ վար, եւ սիրտը մոր ասավ դխուր լացագմանց, վայխելջ դղաս, ոչ մի դեղը չցաված. A beautiful story, an old story that Avetik Issahakyan wrote into prose about a boy who falls in love, and his lover says, you don't love me. If you did, you'd go bring me your mother's heart. And he struggles with that. How can I kill my mother? So he goes and finds an animal, brings the heart, says, get lost, I don't want you. Just don't even look at me until you bring me your mother's heart. And so he finally succumbs to her wishes, and he goes and kills the mother. And as he's running with the heart in his hand, he slips, and as he slips and falls, the mother's heart says to him, my poor boy, did you hurt yourself? That's our Armenian church. That's our Armenian church that's with us. That's the true mother. That's the true mother. That no matter how much we look elsewhere, we fall in love with others. And let me tell you, a lot of stuff to fall in love with. But our church, it's ours. It's our mighty, as Harach Chilingirian said a few minutes ago. And it's ours, and it's one that cares for us. I leave you with these thoughts on this Giragi, Sum of Sunday. I thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you next week. Our next week's guest is going to be Father Harutun Tashjan from St. James Armenian Church in Los Angeles. We look forward to having you then. God bless.